I am joined right now by Democratic State Representative of Tennessee, Justin J. Pearson. He is running for Congress in Tennessee's 9th District. It's good to have you here.
Good to be with you.
Speaking of someone who understands the power of courage and how contagious it can be, you have spent years organizing communities well before you even held elective office. What did those experiences, in the vein of this book, what have those experiences taught you about what it takes to make our democracy work better?
Absolutely. It takes regular people realizing that we have power, and those in power, the billionaires, the corporate class of elected officials and politicians who've been paid off by corporations. We have a responsibility to reclaim our power in the fight and in the struggles by saying, you know, what issue do we care about? What issue is impacting my community, and what can I do about it? 6 years ago, when two multi-billion-dollar corporations came to Memphis and Shelby County, I had never fought billion-dollar oil companies and executives, but we knew we wanted to protect our land from eminent domain and protect our water, which serves over 1 million people. And it was our communities getting together week after week, month after month, that helped us ultimately to be successful. That's what it takes. We put democracy back in our hands.
So I think so many people that are watching us got to know you when you became famous, for lack of a better word, when you and another lawmaker were expelled, and then you guys were reinstated from the Tennessee House for protesting gun violence. When you look back at that, what did that moment teach you about the power of protest, and also the cost, by the way, of speaking out?
That's right. I mean, to get justice in this country, and we have to think about this, particularly in our 250 years here, but to create a more just country, to create that more perfect union is always going to require some form of sacrifice. Sometimes that is a sacrifice of time. We've tragically seen that be a sacrifice of life and people's well-being in the civil rights movement and in other movements that we are engaged in actively. But when we got expelled, standing up against the NRA, against gun violence, just advocating for gun safety legislation, what I realized is you always have to have folks who are inside the institutions, who have positions of power, who are willing to peacefully protest and also potentially lose their jobs, because there are 7,000 people who are outside standing up, holding signs, asking that we do something. And this gun violence epidemic, as you know, is still the #1 killer of children under the age of 18. Like, in this moment, we are all asked, what more can we do? And we all have to have a good answer to that question. And our answer was to peacefully protest on the well of the House floor. And now it is to demand that this democracy actually work for everybody and not just the billionaires and the people at the top.
I mean, I remember that moment very clearly, and some people watched what happened to you and saw an attack on democracy and your First Amendment rights. Other folks were saying, oh, well, you broke the rules. When people criticize dissent for being rule-breaking, what do you say to them?
One, we have to be extremely careful with that because the truth is, who is creating the rules and why were they designed that way? And it is oftentimes to silence the people who otherwise wouldn't be able to say this is wrong or this is immoral. And Dr. King says you always have to have a consciousness above the law. There has to be a consciousness above the rulemaking that has us recognize sometimes, yes, you break a rule that was written, but it was an unjust rule. It was an unjust law. And we have a responsibility and a moral imperative to not obey or to not follow unjust rules and laws in order that the consciousness that we have about a gun safety, the consciousness that we have about ending epidemics and violence and political violence in our communities actually rises to the point of conversation and transformation that we need in our country.
Justin J. Pearson, Representative.